Sophie Chanda, the chair of Sentebale, sat down with Sky News to set the record straight about, well, what essentially Harry was doing in, let's say, behind the scenes. And it is not good. The accusations are quite strong. And if she's not sued in the following weeks, if not months, then I would say that, whatever is Harry's reputation, whatever is left of Harry's reputation is essentially done. So I just summarized the best part of this interview so we can just be quick in this body language analysis with the very specific moments in which she specifies the extent of the bullying and harassment. I would say not only Harry, but I have the feeling that she wanted to talk about Meghan as well. But let's watch from this first clip.
Now, I'm going to answer this very frankly, but I just want to say normally I wouldn't want to discuss family business in this way in an open forum. But here we are, and I'll do my best to be frank in my disclosure.
One thing that we know about Chanda is that she has lawyered up and she's ready for anything that the sausage machine, the Montecito Manor are ready to do. And yeah, what she's about to reveal requires to be lawyered up.
And there was quite a significant correlation between the time the organization started to see a departure of sort of major organizations and Prince Harry's departure from the UK.
Well, this is the recollections that there's donors and people who were, sending money to Sentebale were going away, and there was a correlation between those that money drying up and Harry leaving the UK. You know, she said that very elegantly. Harry leaving the UK, not Brexit, but you know what she meant. Okay, essentially all the drama, all the things, only Harry and Meghan freedom flight drama that was not good for the charity. Something that we could imagine. We move on.
And then when you discuss with the senior executive team and ask why there isn't a conversation about this, the answer is it's really difficult to have this conversation because the instruction was it's an uncomfortable conversation to have with Prince Harry in the room.
Yeah, nobody wanted to talk about the fact that money was harder to find. The donors were just going away just because, the reputation of Harry, and it was getting worse and worse. Again, this is a lack of transparency. There's a lack of, the word would be Harry acknowledging that he was damaging the organization. But you know that Harry was not willing to do it. Moreover, you're going to see what he was willing to do.
When you look at the risk register of the charity and funding, number one risk is that's Duke of Sussex.
Yes.
Is that your opinion, or?
It is.
Yeah, it's a good thing that most questions were asked twice to be sure, to be clear about what she meant. And yes, she's saying that Harry was essentially the number one risk for Sentebale. He had become a liability.
It is.
To be absolutely clear here, you're saying, Sophie, number one, that what you discovered was essentially donors were walking because of the prince's reputation.
Yes.
You notice that, again, the questions are asked twice and even three times. And her body language hasn't changed. She is very confident of what she's saying. She answers with the same voice tone. There's no changes in the way that there's no nervousness in there. She's absolutely sure of what she's saying. That's so far, it's what I have read.
An example might be Prince Harry decides on a specific occasion that he wants to appoint an individual to the board with immediate effect, without having talked to me. It's not on the agenda, and somehow everybody's just supposed to tolerate that.
Yeah, it's pointed out the times when Harry just walked in and decided to do something without consulting anybody just because he was Prince Harry. Oh, well, typical. You know that he is this kind of vulnerable narcissist that can be a nuisance sometimes. And I think that this is the way that he could exert the control that he cannot exert at home.
The he being here, Prince Harry?
Yes, Prince.
So Prince Harry comes into the meeting and says, I want to appoint somebody as CEO.
with, as a board member, as a trustee, with immediate effect.
Yeah, it's the kind of things that you do. You think that you can just do your thing, do things your way. And I guess that he was trying to do what Megan used to do with him, right? Like channel that Megan energy, but still we can move forward.
His proxy on the board says, yes, I second that motion. The third proxy on the board says, welcome to the board, Brian. And everybody's shocked and quiet.
It was one of the problems that nobody was pushing against Harry. She said, okay, this is a problem. This is when you are in charge of something. Okay, maybe you have this push over this person who is almighty, so to speak, and you have all the other people in the board or his proxies say, okay, there's no problem with that, but who is gonna be ultimately responsible for this? Who is the chair? It's like, if you're the chair, if you're in charge of something, you have to say, okay, wait a second. I am the one who's going to take the fall for this if something goes wrong. So I should have a say on this. We should go through, the usual process for this, not try to jump, not try to just please Harry because, he is the Duke of Sussex.
But this is what happens when the prince is in the room and no one has the courage to speak.
Courage. That was something missing.
One of the incidents was the fundraising, the Polo tournament, which is one of the ways in which Sentebale raised a lot of money. What happened?
We were so fortunate to have the opportunity to do a Polo challenge in Miami.
This is what we're gonna talk about that Polo challenge, and the most important thing is what happened with Megan during that award ceremony. We have some moments of Megan in award ceremonies, but this is the one when they were interacting. I have this clip as well, so we can discuss it. But I don't think the way that I see her body language in this is that even if this was like an issue, I didn't see that it changed that much when she was asked the question.
Last year in April, we had a very generous family that was happy for us to use their Polo grounds at a material discount.
That's important that they managed to find somebody in Miami to host the Polo match. But then Harry came with a special request.
And then about a month before the event was about to take place, Prince Harry called the team and said, I'm doing a Netflix show. And I would love to bring a camera crew so that I can include some footage in this show.
Again, we're talking about the 1 month before the event. You can imagine all the things that are required, all the logistics that are required. And she's going to be talking about that immediately right now. But it's like, I just feel like I should be using this for my Polo documentary. You can imagine that the Polo documentary was not materialized, not even as a concept when the event was organized. And then, since that's what Netflix and Harry came up with, we can do a Polo documentary. Yeah, it's like it's anybody who's gonna pay attention to that. They said, we can film at the next event. It's like, yeah, just bring some cameras and that stuff. It's just like that. Like Harry doesn't care. He's not connected in the least. He has no empathy for not only the people organizing the event, but also for the people who were going to be there. Let's see her words.
And so the team called me and tell me, Prince Harry's made this request, so we're doing the things. I said, you can't be doing the things without seeking consent from the property owners, the sponsors, all the guests. Nobody signed up into being on a Netflix show.
Yeah, nobody has signed up for that. You have cameras, you have the protection of your image, of your grounds, of everything. You have the right, the right to not have everybody's face on a Netflix show of course, for profits, for commercial purposes. One thing is to lend your grounds for charity cup. Okay, that is great. But a whole different thing is to allow Netflix to use that for profits. And, well, of course, you have to charge a different amount for that.
And, of course, the venue owner says this is now a commercial undertaking. So here are my terms. We couldn't afford it. So now we lost the venue. So we went to another venue, and we were lucky enough that through Prince Harry's connections, actually, and a friend of his, there was another family that was prepared to host.
I have to say that many times, like in this one, she made sure to say all the time that Harry was either nice to her or very nice to her, or through Harry's connections, they managed to do something. Like, of course, this is in spite that Harry was the problem in the first place. But even so, she makes sure to say that, okay, thanks to Harry's connection, we found another family who was willing to lend their ground for not only the polo match, but the Netflix recording as well. So that's something to point out, as in, this is nothing personal. It seems to not be something personal, but at the same time, she's going to talk about bullying and harassment. So I don't know how that cannot be something personal against her.
At the actual, on the actual day, we had Prince Harry, which is always wonderful.
Always wonderful. Prince Harry is always wonderful. She has just said that. Okay, there's no mistake about it.
The Duchess decided to attend, but she told us she wasn't attending.
Okay, let me repeat that.
The Duchess decided to attend, but she told us she wasn't attending.
But she told us she wasn't attending. So Meghan had this change of mind. Maybe she said, oh, I'm missing out on the cameras. There are going to be cameras there. I 100% have to go, have to be there. You know how it's Meghan. She not only sees where the cameras are, but she's always looking at the camera.
And she brought a friend, a very famous friend. So you can imagine all of the activity that goes with these additional amazing people. We're excited about it. We would have been really excited had we known ahead of time, but we didn't.
Yeah, there is a problem. Okay, there's nice, all the publicity, all the activity, but the logistics become even harder and more complicated. And the security, of course, it's always, the security of everybody becomes much more complicated.
And so the choreography went badly on stage because we had too many people on stage. The international press captured this. And there was a lot of talk about the Duchess and the choreography on stage and whether she should have been there and her treatment of me.
Yeah, the choreography that Chanda says, it was this moment in which they were with the cup. And you remember that Meghan was pretty much dismissive and, well, maybe she was smiling, but I don't know. It was this kind of uncomfortable moment between them. Again, there have been worse polo moments. Meghan has had worse polo moments. We all know that. I think that it was, honestly, I'm going to give you my honest opinion of this. Okay, you know that Meghan had nothing to do there. That was the main problem. Meghan had nothing to do there. The awkwardness is more like the amount of people who were receiving the award, who were holding the cup. I mean, Meghan should have just, hey, you can just not be there, or maybe take some kind of different video another time. I don't know, but that was the first mistake. The interaction is not a big deal. The problem is that Meghan was on the stage. That was the main problem.
Prince Harry asked me.
This is important. Prince Harry asked Chanda
to issue some sort of a statement in support of the Duchess. And I said I wouldn't. Not because I didn't care about the Duchess, but because I knew what would happen if I did so, number one.
Yeah, she knew what was going to happen. She's going to be clear about what would happen. But I mean, really, how insecure you have to be to require to issue a written statement about this? About why would you? It's just stupid. Again, we know that it was not Harry. Harry has no ability to do that sort of things. It was Meghan said that you have to force her to issue a statement, and that would have been like a Streisand effect. The Streisand effect is you try to cover up for something, try to deny something, it's going to be even worse. Everybody knows that was going to happen, except, of course, for Meghan and Harry, who they are just attention seekers.
And number two, because we cannot be an extension of the Sussex
What would have
PR
happened
machine.
if you had simply just said, there's nothing wrong with what's happened, what the Duchess did?
What do you think would have happened?
Well, the Duchess has told Dr. Sophie Chanda to make a press release about her, and then she'll get even worse trolling.
Yeah, it's something so common sense, but no, it's no. We need you to issue a statement that everything is fine with Meghan. I mean, that is the definition of being thin-skinned. That's what I tell you. I have told you so many times on my Body Language Guy channel that these narcissists are so insecure, and that's why they need that constant reinforcement about their image, about their achievements, about what they did, about their soap dish story, their all that. And of course, if somebody happens to them, oh, you have to issue a statement, you have to set the record straight about us, that you didn't mean to, that it was you who was at fault, not Meghan, for being on stage. That's what they do.
That's what would have happened.
You said that Prince Harry wanted to, I'm quoting here, force the failure of the charity. Why on earth would he want a charity he founded in memory of his mother to fail?
Not gonna lie, that is a very good question. That was perhaps besides the one of the polo match, the most important question. Why would Harry want this charity to fail?
To be honest, it's a last resort. Really, what Prince Harry wanted to do was to eject me from the organization, and this went on for months. It went on for months through bullying, harassment.
Okay, so she's making it very clear that Harry had this campaign of bullying and harassment to eject her from the charity. This is the kind of things that I find a bit of contradiction, a bit of, I don't understand why she repeats so many times how nice was Harry to her, how wonderful was Harry, but at the same time she accuses him of bullying and harassment, as in this is what Harry was doing, and he was ready to see the charity fail just to see her out. As in, we can guess that she was not willing to just bend to Harry's will or Meghan's will whenever they wanted, and that was a problem for Harry and Meghan, of course.
I have documentation. There were board meetings where members of the executive team and external strategic advisors were sending me messages saying, should I interrupt? Should I stop this? Oh my gosh, this is so bad.
So she's saying that there was bullying, there was harassment from Harry, and she's got the records to prove so. So this is going to be really interesting. And she went on an interview and she is saying this for everybody to hear in this way, and her body language hasn't changed a bit. She's a bit more rattled, but just a bit. She's still very confident. I don't see any signs of nervousness in here. She is completely sure of what she's saying. This is gonna be interesting, how the Montecito morons react to this.
In fact, our strategic advisor for fundraising then sent me a message saying she wouldn't want to ever attend any more board meetings or bring her colleagues because of the treatment. When that failed, Prince Harry started to brief, and his team, sponsors that I'd been speaking to against me.
Ken, there must be records of that. She must have records of this, because if she goes as far as to say this on an interview on TV, it means that she has already spoken to her attorneys, and the attorneys have said, yeah, you can say such and such and such. I think that she's an attorney herself, right? If I remember correctly.
I obviously have to put this to both of you.
Yes.
What you're essentially saying is that the Duke of Sussex is guilty of harassment and bullying and improper conduct in the governance of a charity.
She goes on to, immediately, she doesn't say yes or no. She goes on to give an example about that.
Well, let me put it to you this way. I'm going to give you a really good example. The only reason I'm here, Trevor, is because at some point on Tuesday, Prince Harry authorized the release of a damaging piece of news to the outside world without informing me.
It's important to notice that she said Prince Harry. She was very clear about that because of what she's about to say next.
All my country directors, all my executive director. And can you imagine what that attack has done for me, on me, and the 540 individuals in the Sentebale organizations and their family? That is an example of harassment and bullying at scale.
Okay, I see that when she is referring to that harassment and bullying, she is diluting her message a bit. It's not a targeted bullying and harassment to her, but she's saying that he was essentially bullying and harassing her and Sentebale and the 540 members and their families. So it was like backtracking just a bit. Still, her body language and voice frequency and voice tone hasn't changed, so I think that she still means it. And she's still saying that Prince Harry had engaged in this campaign of bullying and harassment at scale. Personally, still she's essentially saying that, and you can imagine that the headlines tomorrow are going to be exactly that.
And so if the world didn't want to believe that there's such a thing as bullying, this unleashing of the Sussex machine on me and the 540 employees at Sentebale who received this and have had to defend it.
Well, by the way, when you say the Sussex machine, what do you...
Yeah, we're going to be talking about the sausage machine. You know that I've changed all the captions. You know that I respect the people of Sussex, and they don't deserve for those morons to take the name, the name of their home. They're essentially their home for clout. So I changed all the captions to sausage, to uphold that sentiment. But again, we move on.
The PR machine that supports Prince Harry's efforts.
A PR machine and led by Meghan herself. You can imagine. Yeah, we have had our encounters with the sausage squad.
The only way we discovered of his decision was through the Sussex machine activating newspapers.
You were not told that he planned and the Princess planned to resign?
We were informed that they have the intention to withdraw if I went to the High Court and succeeded.
So imagine how much of a coward Harry is, that after doing all this, after trying to force himself into his will, into Sentebale, when he's gonna do this. Oh no, I'm gonna make sure that she finds out through other, channels, because I don't think that he has the, let's say, the balls to do it himself.
Isn't the problem here that it was you was the problem, not the prince?
It was me who was the problem because I put a whistleblower complaint about the bullying, the harassment, and the misogyny, and Prince Harry interfered in the investigation of that.
All right, so this is much more complicated and much damning, in which she puts a request for an investigation and Harry blocks it. I guess that you have proof of that?
And the senior independent director who should have taken care of it was the very same person who then delivered the news to me that I was going to be removed by the board. So it's a cover-up, and the prince is involved.
It doesn't get more clear than that. She has named Prince Harry directly. The prince is involved, and of course she is talking about Prince Harry and this, not Prince Seiso. It's talking about Harry. There's a cover-up. They want to oust her, and they want to use the charity as they please. I don't know if the charity could recover from this if Harry stays, of course.
Let's be frank. Are you saying that the misogyny stems from Prince Harry himself and his associates?
This is important. She talk about misogyny, but no, the misogyny was other people. Harry was the bullying and harassment.
I would actually say my experience is Prince Harry himself, fantastic actually. We had a great relationship. But there are some individuals on the board who, quite frankly, did not treat me in the way that they would have treated the prior chair.
I think it was a mistake I think there's. I think she wants to make sure in all cases of the systemic problem at the chair. Not only Harry, but all the others. Of course, we come here to see what she has to say about Harry. But along the interview, which is quite longer, they talk about other parts of Sentebale which were misbehaving. So I guess that she needed to make that clear. She wraps up saying that Sentebale will move on.
Prince Harry visited Africa for the first time in 5 years when I asked him to last year. Who do you think was running the show? During the pandemic, before the pandemic, and after the pandemic, Sentebale will live. Sentebale will live on because of the people.
So what we see here is very specific and very clear accusations that Harry was using his power not only to do as he pleased with Sentebale and with events and whatever. Well, we still don't know what happened to the $51 million, but we're still waiting for that. But also that he had this, he didn't like the challenge of his power by Sophie Chanda, and that's why he at first had this wonderful, she speaks in past tense, they have this wonderful relationship, but ultimately it became sour because, Harry wanted to oust her, and any investigation on that bullying and harassment and the way that they were trying to pin on her things that had happened years ago. Well, I think that was the thing that she decided to come forward, and I'm glad that she did, because at some point somebody had to call not only Harry but Meghan as well for what they are. And since, the bullying reports from inside the palace, I think we're not gonna have access to that anytime soon. That's not gonna happen. At least we have this, and it is consistent, as I've been telling you so many times. You have to find out how many times things happen, how many rumors do you need? How many different people have the same recollections about this too? How many more do you need? It is my question. Now, my question to you is, do you believe Sophie Chanda? Do you support her? Do you think that she is holding back, or do you think that she is exaggerating? What do you think about her interview? Let me know what you think about this in the comments. Remember to download my free 100 body language tips in the description of this video. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the Royal Rogue. Much love and bliss.